welcome to the Summer Solstice Color Art Educational Event for July 15th and 16th, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, featuring 18 artists premiering live, 18 channel prizes, 18 chances to win. 1 mega prize, shopping spree, $400 value. Details will be in the description. Stay tuned and watch all the way through to get the secret word that will help complete the phrase to enter you in for the grand prize. See you in a second. I'm Priscilla Batzell. I'm at Expressionist Fluid Art Studio in Spring Hill, Florida. These are my scooping tools. This was made of something that probably covered pens. So I used Craftastic plastic, but you could use anything you wanted, like refuse, old packaging. I made myself a scoop, a double-ended scoop, and I'm looking for my scissors, which I wish I had left right handy, because they would be just, that would be too easy. Anyway, so I scored this along the black line, and I'm going to bend it, and then when I find my scissors, I'm going to trim off that excess edge so I can just have a smaller scoop. And if I happen to see my scissors, I'll use it. So this is similar to a little kitchen scoop, plastic scoop you might find at the flea market or in somebody's yard sale bin. And I do use refuse quite a bit to put paint into, and I've got several different options, to say the least. I've got shallow, that was a lid that fit down on something, and I think I'd like to try that today. And I may do a second one. I've got a smaller version. It goes out of here. I've got a pre-primed black 14 by 14 inch canvas. That's some Chantilly lace. That's a Prizm Pour. This is Indian Spice, also a Prizm Pour. I'm just going to put colors down that I like. This is Jasmine. It's a primary element. Can't get enough Jasmine. This is Orange Crush, another Prizm Pour. This is Saffron. I sort of picked my colors in advance. Saffron is gorgeous. I love saffron. I've got some leftover. I think this was Tuscan Sun. That's a Prizm Pour also. I'd like to put that top back on. There we go. This is Miami Magenta. This is a Prizm Pour. It helps if you open the tops. My paint mixing recipes are under most of my videos. This is Big Apple. I've got a red violet, vivid intense fluorescent. My favorite Royal Sapphire. It does look like the shallow container is going to work. I've got blue velvet. I usually, if the dish is deeper and I'm trying to get more color into a scoop, I usually start with a base layer. That is Wild Orchid. This is Cupid's Crush. Now that seems like enough, or nearly enough. I didn't put any of the Fandango in there, and I want some. Fandango is another Prizm Pour. The Cupid's Crush, I believe, is a primary element. So now I'm going to use my scooping tool, hopefully. I'll take my extra stuff out of the way. And hopefully this will be interesting. We'll just give it a go. So that was not the right place for that. I need that somewhere else. Let's see how that works. I've never given myself that opportunity yet. Now I do wipe off the bottom of my depends on how far it goes. grab some yellow and a little more red. I hadn't really made up my mind when I started what kind of pattern I was going to try for. So we're just going to go all over the place. I like that Royal Sapphire. So I'm going to grab a little bit more of that. Oh, I got some paint on my pinky. You got to go slow enough for the paint to leave your scoop evenly. I've got some Miami Magenta, I see it, and some jasmine. And a bubble. I'm liking the blue. I don't think I've used nearly enough of that gold. Gotta remember to stop and tip my tool up. I am sort of mixing up my colors, which is okay with me. I like adding patterns to the colors. I also like the solid colors. You can do whatever you want. I often, like in some other paintings, will add textures like dashes or dots. My secret word is but. Whoop, put my tool down in the paint. Not too badly though, fortunately. My dish is looking pretty interesting. I haven't used much of that Fandango and I want to. I've often thought about making little blocks, little squares, but it sounds easier than it is because there's always a potentially uneven end, which you could probably resolve if you have an issue with getting paint on stuff like that. It's handy to have Q-tips hanging around. I want some saffron. And if I don't get all the way through this today, whoop, paint container, then I could do something tomorrow. And I don't think you need to cover the entire canvas, although it is fun to do. I've done it before. You can also mix larger scoops and smaller scoops. That might be a prime example of something I might need to clean up, or at least modify. Now I usually put dots in, or I often put dots in, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do this time. Stop short and start it again, and I like the way that looks. I think I'm going to keep going. And you don't want to get too awful much paint in your scoop, because then you're going to have a problem. Like that. You're going to have drips. I kind of felt like I could have stopped a minute ago. You could fill in the entire background with dots if you wanted to. That might be kind of cool. I don't feel too bad about the amount of paint I used. It seems like it might be the right amount. And the colors almost always go together just fine. I want some more purple. Oh, and I have some. Just some. Now that's enough for right now. It's pretty simple, but that works. Around here somewhere I've got a paintball on the end of a skewer. And I have seldom given myself permission to just dot willy-nilly, but this time I'm going to do it. Because I've got pretty colors and I want to use them. Paintball on the end of the skewer helps a lot. I kind of want some yellow ones. I like the dots. I'm going to wipe off my skewer and try and give myself a dramatic change, color change. So it's a piece of contemporary art, basically. I think it's time to use some of the Royal Sapphire and maybe the Blue Velvet too. So I post most days at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested, you can check out my community board. And it'll show you if there's a painting coming up the next day or not. And I think I can keep right on going. I'm just going to wipe off my skewer. And I think this is easy enough for pretty much anybody to do. If you just slow your roll. And it certainly is fun. I want a little bit more jasmine. And I put it across the room. That's not helpful. You can also dot with a bottle. But be careful as you're pulling up. You will get little tiny tails of paint. I think I might be interested in using a little bit of Chantilly lace. I have to be careful. I opened the top on this. My timer is going to go off in a minute. My camera shuts off at 20 minutes, so. I like the Chantilly lace. I want to say that was a pleasure. I'm glad you stopped by. Check out all of my Colourarte affiliates on the Colourarte website, and there's always a Colourarte coupon code that helps the affiliates when you purchase their products. Let's see if I can shimmer that at you. That's kind of fun. Yes, that's just a party. If I have any bubbles, I'll pop them with my skewer or use a torch. I use a propane torch. Right there. We'll zoom right in. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you anon. Bye for now. Priscilla out.